Gotta give the people what they want. Yes, I do. I had to keep the facial hair going. All of my attention is just going to this diabetes experiment now. It's like, you know what? I'll trim up the neck a little bit. It's gonna have to be like this. Okay, we ready? All right, let's do this thing. What's up, guys? It is day 5, and I'm gonna start this video off by saying I was once again in range for 24 hours. Now, is that an indicator that I've figured it out? Absolutely not. It is most definitely not. We're getting closer, but I'm gonna show you guys my Dexcom graph. By the way, if you haven't seen this, got some Beyond Type 1 repping, got the blood drop. This is the blood drop. That's what's causing like all of my frustration right now. I'm like, why can't I figure out MDI? But check this out. You got the 112. Yeah, the 24-hour graph. You guys are gonna see something happen. Last night, right? Oh, that's so stable. And then this morning I was like, oh crap, I had to pull over. I was driving and dipped a little bit low, so it wrecked my 24-hour graph. But overnight, man, so I changed my basal dose by a little bit. I ended up taking 1 unit off. Now, of course, you guys heard my endo had a call with me the other day. She recommended I drop 2 units off, but I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of aggressive. I want to get this thing figured out as fast as possible. So I took 1 unit off in hopes that I'd be able to coast in like the 90s all night. Didn't quite work. Almost. My alarm goes off when I hit 80. My alarm went off I think 2 times. I was in the 70s. Just kind of cruising downwards. Basal is still a little bit too strong. However, it's also day 1 of my basal change, which means it's too early to decide if that change was enough or not. So tonight, I will be taking the same amount of basal and just praying that this is the correct amount this time, and that it was just my body adjusting to the new basal amount, right? So we will see. I'll be taking the same amount I did last night, seeing if I go low tonight. And last night I had an alarm set for 5 a.m. because I reduced my basal. I was planning on giving a half unit correction at 5 a.m. to take care of my Dom phenomenon. I woke up at 5 a.m. to give my correction, checked my Dexcom, and once again, I was slanted down at 90. I was like, gosh dang it, you know what? I'm gonna have a tablet instead. And I ended up waking up at like 96 or something like that. So still a little bit perplexed at how this is not quite leveling out just right. A lot of people are like, Matt, you gotta split your Lantus dose. Here's why I don't do that. My profile, that basal profile on my pump matches up with the peak and valley of Lantus. You're like, what? There's a peak and a valley? It's basal. There's no peak and valley. Lantus actually has a peak and a valley. And some of you who've taken Lantus, you may have noticed this. You go low at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because of the peak, right? And then you need more insulin in the afternoon and night because there's a valley, which means the insulin's absorbed fast in the beginning and then it kind of tails off in the end. So it's not exactly an even dose, but that matches up with my basal needs. So on my pump, I received more insulin in the morning, peak, and then less insulin towards the nighttime, valley. So Lantus matched up. Everyone's like, split your dose so you can get an even spread. I don't need an even spread, so for me, it's best that I don't split my dose. This is the same conversation I had with my endo. She's like, you should split it. And I'm like, here's why I don't. And she's like, oh, I'm glad you knew that. So we're all different, right? We have different strategies and there's different things that work with us based on hormone release and schedules and activities and all this kind of stuff. So what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other. So I decided reduce my basal by 1 unit, give a half unit correction 5 a.m. Didn't give the correction, like I said, because I was slanted down when I woke up at 5 and it worked out to not give the correction, but we'll see what happens tonight. Same schedule, I'm gonna wake up at 5 and see where I'm at. Now, of course, in between meals, it's a little bit kind of iffy. On paper, I look amazing. On paper, it looks like I've got this thing nailed down. Because I go to bed, right, at 120 to 140, somewhere in there, and I wake up at 96. Like, it looks amazing. Each meal, I'm 112, 123, 117. Like, on paper, on this guy, I look like I've got it down, right? I look like it's perfect. This thing is helping me find my trends and patterns. I highly recommend you grab this because it will give you a better look at your diabetes management overall. And again, you can find that at trendinghealthjournal.com. I always talk about it because it's literally helping people change their lives. It's an incredible tool. Now, with that being said, it is perfect on paper. In between meals, I'm having miniature snacks, right? I might give a little bit of a correction, and it's because of that that I end up perfect at each meal. So I know it's not perfect yet. A perfect basal means that you don't have to snack and you don't have to give insulin in between meals to stay in range. So that's my next step. Now, today, a little bit frustrated because last night I woke up twice due to a low alarm. I never went low, right? I was in the 70s, but to me, I consider that as a low. I prefer to keep tighter range, like I mentioned. I like to keep mine between 80 and 170. The technical in range is 70 to 180, so I keep it a little bit tighter controlled. But it's been interesting. I went low after breakfast. That was frustrating. I told you guys I had to pull over. I was in the 50s. I hit 59 and then came back up, but I was like, what the heck? What's going on? So I had to take care of that, and then I kind of cruised a little bit lower after lunch, and I just got back from having a mini snack, which it's fun to snack and all, but I'd rather not have to snack. You feel me? I'd rather get to snack and just take some insulin for it. That'd be cool if I could just do that, you know, and not have to worry about going low if I don't snack. But overall today, pretty normal. You know, still using the InPen. It's a great tool. It allows me to calculate my blood sugar and carbs and give the correct dose. It's up to a half unit, so I can give half unit corrections if I need to. Awesome tool. These daily vlogs, though, I want to make sure that they are, you know, filled with value. They are topical, but I think what I might do in a few days is cut the daily vlogs as far as just following me along, and actually follow along one day where I just carry the camera around and I say, hey guys, this is breakfast, this is lunch, this is dinner, here's how the InPen works and here's how I'm using it. Either that, or I may do more of an instructional on here is how the InPen works, here is how the trending health journal works, right? And do more of a topical video. So it's like, here's the one thing this video is about. But until I get there, I have a question for you. This is for everyone. What if there was a resource online that included a nutrition specialist who was also living with type 1 diabetes, a fitness expert who was also living with type 1 diabetes, and a medical team, a doctor, who was also living with type 1 diabetes? And we bundled that all up, made each person have video modules, emails, accountability, and a group setting. And we just gave it away for free. Would that be valuable? Would that be a great resource for you? This is an honest question. I want to know the answer. And if you think that this has the potential to either change lives or even improve lives, even just a little bit, let me know. In fact, you know what? In the comments below, I want you to comment. Let me know what you would find most valuable in an online resource like that. Whether it's about mindset or the food, nutrition side of things, the fitness, maybe it's accountability, maybe it's the community, whatever it is. Let me know in the comments what you personally would find the most valuable in a resource like that. And, you know, there may or may not be a release date given in one of these videos in the next couple of days, maybe. Could be a Christmas type thing, could be my diaversary coming up very soon. It's actually my decade of living with diabetes coming up on the 23rd of December. It'll be 10 years, and I get to open up this bad boy that I got in the mail. You guys don't know what it is yet. Well, some of you might, but it's pretty sweet. Super excited about it. So let me know in the comments below what you guys would value the most, what you think would be the most valuable resource inside of an online resource like that, just because I think it'd be cool to get your opinion on that. And then for everyone who's commenting below, of course, you're also going to be notified if, just if and when something cool like that pops out and that opportunity becomes available for Christmas. So, alright guys, that's pretty much it for today. As far as strategies for tonight, I'm going to be trying the same basal again, setting my alarm at 5 a.m., seeing what happens with it. Overall, my exercise regimen's been amazing, and that I haven't seen a whole lot of fluctuation with, so my biggest problem area right now is overnight, and then breakfast has been kind of iffy. I've been injecting what I call ghost carbs because I knew that my ratio would change upon going back to MDI because my pump took care of a lot of the down phenomenon. And so I have been able to, I've been required to inject more of a bolus for my breakfast. So much so that I inject my ghost carbs, which is I inject for my food, but then I don't eat part of it because I know I'm probably going to go high. And if I don't go high, then I get to eat it. And 5 days in a row, I have not been able to eat it because I stay stable. So I've got some calculations to do to figure out my new bolus ratio. I believe it's changed quite a bit considering I have not been able to eat portions of my breakfast. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. That's my method of figuring out my new bolus ratio, my insulin to carb ratio. I do not recommend it, especially if you do not control your factors and variables surrounding blood sugar management. If you're not able to control your schedule, I'm able to sit there with my food next to me at my desk and keep an eye on my blood sugars. If you can't do that, that could be very dangerous because that might mean you've given in insulin, an injection insulin, whatever, for that food, and you might not be able to eat it. Let's say you're on the go or you forget about it. So not the greatest strategy if you aren't able to control the surrounding variables, but that's what I use right now. And I'm hoping to nail down that new insulin to carb ratio soon. So that's it for today. We are back from camping. My shoulder's a little bit sore from that booster shot yesterday and the flu shot. They gave me both the shots in the same shoulder because they didn't want to mess with my Dexcom over here. I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah, it's been an interesting 5 days, and I'm very curious to see what the rest of the weekend holds. And once I finally do nail down my bolus and basal ratios, I'll be able to jump in to my experimental phase on different theories that I want to test for my type 1 diabetic programs, my coaching program. That's what this whole thing is leaning towards, is figuring out these theories that I have, and as they pertain to MDI versus pump, how formulas and frameworks may need to change, and how I can best serve my audience of type 1 diabetics. So that's the goal, and continue watching to figure out if I can achieve that and figure it all out for you guys. So let me know in the comments below what you would find most valuable in an online resource that includes a doctor, nutritionist, fitness expert, and all this great stuff in an accountability online format. Drop below what you would value most in that. I'll be looking over those, and you may or may not see something released in the next couple days. Alright guys, have an awesome day and keep up the fight.